Hey guys, Pete here. Today I'm going to do a history video about a character that's going to play a much bigger role in Game of Thrones Season 7, Euron Greyjoy. Most of what we know about Euron comes from the books, so this will contain spoilers, including some from an early Winds of Winter chapter that was released a while back. It'll also have some Season 7 production spoilers that I talked about in one of my earlier videos, so you've officially been warned. Make sure you stick around to the very end of the video to learn about the book giveaway I have for my subscribers. With all of that out of the way, let's get right into it. Joran Greyjoy is a member of House Greyjoy from the Iron Islands. He was the oldest of Balon Greyjoy's younger brothers, and that makes him Yara and Theon's uncle. He has a really cool personal coat of arms, which has a red eye with a black pupil beneath a black iron crown that's held up by two crows. In the show, Euron came onto the scene in Season 6. He showed up and killed his older brother Balon, and then made a claim to be king of the Ironborn during the Kingsmoot. After getting elected, he decides that he wants to do some more kinslaying, but doesn't get a chance to take Yara and Theon out before they leave the Iron Islands with a large part of the fleet. The show's version of Euron so far is a bit disappointing for book fans for a couple of reasons. For me, the biggest one is that they just haven't given us that much of his backstory, and that's why I'm making this video. He is definitely a bad dude with an interesting past. With so little time left, the show probably won't include much of it, but it's interesting and may help you get a better idea of what we can expect from him. There are also some theories about him which are pretty cool too, which I'll get into at the end since they're more relevant to his book story. This is what we know about Euron from A Song of Ice and Fire. Euron is pale and handsome with black hair and a dark beard. He wears a patch over his left eye and is nicknamed Crow's Eye. Per Theon, the patch conceals a black eye shining with malice. He drinks Shade of the Evening, so his lips are a pale blue.
You were gone. Yara was here, being Ironborn, leading Ironborn, getting ready to bring us back to glory.
And how will she do that?
I will build the largest fleet the world has ever seen.
Right idea. Except I'm the one who's going to build the Iron Fleet, because I'm the one who knows how to use it. I've been all over the world. I've seen more of it than all of you combined. And across the sea, there is a person who hates the great lords of Westeros just as much as we do. Someone with a large army, 3 large dragons, and no husband. I'm going to build that fleet, and I'm going to gallivant right over and give it to Daenerys Targaryen, along with my big cock.
You're going to seduce the Dragon Queen.
I'm not going to seduce her. The Iron Fleet will seduce her. And together we're going to take the 7 kingdoms.
Right away, we notice that show Euron is a bit different in his looks. He doesn't wear a patch, so there's no mystery about his black eye. Also, at least to this point, there's no mention of Shade of the Evening like we saw with the Warlocks back in the House of the Undying in Qarth. Euron is a wildly unpredictable man, known for his delight in playing vicious mind games and waging psychological warfare on anyone around him. He's hated by his brothers for this reason. He's a skilled warrior and manipulator, and he's cunning, shrewd, and ruthless. Despite his dangerous and mercurial nature, Euron has little trouble in drawing men to his service. While most Ironborn captains keep the lion's share of plunder, Euron takes almost nothing for himself. That's not to say he hasn't collected some cool things in his travels through the east, though. He was supposed to have owned a dragon egg at one point, and what we think is a suit of Valyrian steel armor. The most interesting thing that the show left out is a horn that is supposed to bind dragons to his will. At the Kingsmoot, Euron promises to conquer all of Westeros for the Ironborn using dragons, which he claims he can bind to his will with the horn. This went down differently in the show, but the result was pretty much the same. In the books, he has his brother Victarion sail to Meereen to find Daenerys, but the show cut that character out completely. I don't think the horn will play a role in the show at all, since we already know that he'll be teaming up with Cersei in Season 7 for the most part, but I guess you never know. If the show's version is so different, you might be wondering what the point of knowing about it is. The point is that Euron has the potential to be one of the evilest of bad guys in a show that's had a lot of them. Since we got spoiler information from what Watchers on the Wall describes as a reliable source that Euron and Cersei will be teaming up in Season 7, knowing what this character is based on makes for a lot of exciting speculation. So what's so evil about Euron? Just to give you an idea, and this is not everything, here are just some of the greatest hits or some of the worst things that he's done. He sailed, raped, and pillaged all over the known world. He claims to have traveled to Asshai and to have walked the smoking ruins of Old Valyria. In the beginning of the Greyjoy Rebellion, he put together a plan to send his brother to Lannisport to burn the Lannister fleet. The plan worked, and they were able to destroy the Westerland's naval force without a fight. Euron was banished from the Iron Isles by his brother Balon for seducing or raping his younger brother Saltwhite. He was warned never to return while Balon was still alive. His ship or galley is called the Silence because it's crewed by mutes. This is believed to be because Euron cut all their tongues out. It has black sails and its decks are painted red to hide the blood that soaked them. He has fathered several bastard children but has no regard for any of them. He claims to have owned a dragon egg which he was unable to hatch. He claims that he threw that in the sea, but a popular theory says otherwise. In the Winds of Winter's sample chapter, The Forsaken, Euron admits to causing the deaths of 2 of his brothers as a child. We also found out that he probably raped his other younger brothers while they were still young. There's a lot more, but I think you get the gist by this point. He is as bad as they come and basically has no boundaries. In the show, they've gone even further on the kinslaying point, as he openly planned to kill his niece and nephew, and no one really seems to mind. Also in the show, he threw Balon off the bridge, but no one knows if he did that for sure because no one was there, and in the books it's likely that he actually didn't do that. Now we know Queen Cersei is no slouch when it comes to being evil, but I think the combination of these two together will amount to an evil force we have yet to see in Game of Thrones. Ramsay was an evil character, but if you think about it, no one else besides the Kennel Master's daughter openly indulged in his insanity with him. Here we have a character that is maybe more evil than Ramsay in the first place, and if that's possible, who we expect will be teaming up with the person who's currently sitting on the Iron Throne. Of course, the duo is likely to be headed for destruction regardless of anything else, but it could make for some insane action before we get there. So, real quick before I finish, I wanted to mention some of the theories about Euron that have been going around. Like I mentioned, they aren't very important to the show's story, but I still think they're worth mentioning. The first one is related to that dragon egg I told you about. The theory goes that he didn't throw the egg into the sea, but instead traded it to a faceless man as payment for the assassination of his brother Balon. This is interesting because in the books we have a good idea that a faceless man has infiltrated the Citadel at the same time Sam's arrived, and he could be there to learn how to hatch the egg. I mean, if there's anywhere that it's written down how to do such a thing, that would be where you would find it. The other theory that has been talked about a lot lately since the Forsaken chapter came out is one that I find super interesting since it involves Bloodraven. The idea is that when Euron was a boy, the three-eyed crow came to him in his dreams just like he did with Bran. He tells his brother Aeron, "When I was a boy, I dreamt that I could fly. When I woke, I couldn't, or so the maester said, but what if he lied?" This is very similar to what Bran's experience was like, and a lot of fans wonder if there's more than coincidence there. There's also his choice of imagery for his personal coat of arms that bears a resemblance to all things Bloodraven. There are actually a few theories about the three-eyed crow being in contact with Euron that are a little bit different, and I won't get into all of them, but I find it likely that there's a possibility of a connection between the two characters since so many people have brought it up. If you want to read more about some of the different theories, just put Euron Bloodraven in Google or Reddit and the most popular ones will come up. So that's the quick and easy history of Euron Greyjoy. Now that you know more about him, let me know what you think. Leave a comment and tell me what you think he'll be capable of, and if you think he is the most evil character that will be in the series. If you haven't seen my production spoilers video where I talk about the rumors about the Greyjoys that came out of the filming locations for season 7, you should check it out. I'll put a link right up at the top, but be warned, there is some epic stuff in it that gives away part of season 7's story. Please like the video if you enjoyed it and make sure to subscribe to my channel before you navigate away. I have 2 more Game of Thrones videos I'm working on that should both be out before the end of this week. Also, if you're on Twitter, you should follow my account. I spend most of my social media time there, and I always try to post a lot of interesting stuff. When I hit 18,000 subscribers, I'm giving one lucky fan a copy of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms by George R.R. Martin. The count's been moving fast lately, so I think we're going to get there soon. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on any of my videos where I mention the giveaway. I'll use a YouTube comment picker to find a winner, and everyone will have an equal chance of winning the book. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.